Hi guys, welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to see how to retrieve tweets using Python and also process the tweets using Apache Spark and finally visualizes the top trending Twitter hashtag in the real-time dashboard. In this, I'm going to use Apache Spark. Apache Spark is a data processing framework which processes the data in real time by distributing the data processing task among multiple computers. Also, I'm going to use Flask. Flask is a simple web framework in Python which is used to create a web application. Before going into this, if you haven't watched our previous video on what is natural language processing or Twitter sentiment analysis using NLP techniques, you can click on the above link to watch it. So this is the folder structure for this project. As you can see, the top folder is Twitter streaming and it has subfolders, hashtags, dashboard as well as Twitter HTTP client. So hashtags dashboard, in this you have app.py, so which is the main application, and also all the HTML files goes into the templates folder. So all the script files should go into statics folder. But in this case, I'm going to use embedded JavaScript inside the chart.html file. So I'm not going to use a separate JavaScript file in the static. If you want, you can use the script file inside the static folder. And also the Twitter HTTP client is another folder which contains two Python scripts. The one is Twitter underscore app.py, which is used to connect with the Twitter with all the keys and tokens, whereas Spark underscore app.py is used to process the real-time data. Okay, for this I'm going to use Spider IDE for Python. I'm going to explain all the Python scripts first. As you can see, Twitter underscore app.py is a script for connecting to the Twitter. So as you can see, I'm getting assigning all the tokens, secrets, consumer key and the consumer secret keys, and after this I'm passing all the keys into the authentication library. And here if you can see here, we have a local host, so I'm going to run it on my local host with the port number 909 sorry 9009 for the TCP port. And for the connection, I'm going to set it later. So create a socket and also bind the IP address as well as the port number. We need to keep listening to the port if there is a connection being established. So for the sake of clarity, we are printing whether it to say that we are waiting for a TCP connection. So once we get a connection, we accept the connection using s.accept, and also we print that we have connected. And now this script is going to start getting the tweets. So here we are calling get tweets method, and it is assigned to the RESP variable. So as you can see, this will be calling this get underscore tweets function, and we have a URL assigned for this using stream.twitter.com. and finally we have a language with a variable assigned query underscore data, language English, and also location, and we are just going to track the hashtags. So now we pass the URL as well as join that with a string t01 t of 1 and t of 1 in the query data. And we are going to get the response using get method of the request. We are passing the query URL and also the authentication that we have collected, and also the streaming is true. And now we are just printing the query underscore URL and also the response, and finally returning the response. So once it has returned, this get tweets is called and assigning this variable, assigning the results to the variable RESP. So once it is assigned, we can just pass the response. So whatever we have, whatever tweets we have retrieved, it is stored in this response, and the connection variable that we have already connected with the port number and the IP address. So we need to pass these two variables to the send tweets to Spark. So now we have established the connection with Twitter, and now we are passing the connection and also the tweets that we have retrieved to the Spark to process the data. So these are the two variables that we are passing into this function. So it reads line by line all the things by iterating the lines, and finally we get the full tweet by loading the lines. And after this we get full tweet of text. We are going to get the text field, of full text, and finally we are printing that tweet text, and also we are converting that into bytes using UTF-8 format and TCP connection.send. We are going to send the tweet data by using our TCP underscore connection. So we are going to try this. This is an exceptional handling. So if there is an error, it will send the error using the except. Next we are going to see the spark underscore app dot py. So Twitter underscore app dot py will retrieve the tweets and pass those tweets to spark underscore app dot py. So here we are going to set the configuration by calling the function spark conf spark configuration class, and also the configuration is set an app name, application name, Twitter stream app, and also we have set the configuration using spark context, and if there is an error it will be set in the set log level, and the checkpoint is set by using checkpoint to allow the resilient distributed data sets. And finally, we are going to read the data using the port number that we have mentioned in the Twitter underscore app.py. So this should be the same port number as specified in Twitter underscore app.py. We are going to use the localhost. So as you can see here, there are 4 methods. So one is for getting the hashtag count. So it is essential to add the count of each hashtag to its last count. So that's why we use this method. And also this get SQL context in instance is used to get the RDD from the current context. So as you can see that this is called here get Spark SQL singleton context from the current context, and sending the data frame to the dashboard. That's the third method that we are using. So this one, as obvious, it is used to extract the hashtag from the data frame and convert that into an array. And here extract the counts. So in this line, it's going to extract the count from the data frame and convert them into an array. This one extracts hashtag, this one extracts the counts. And also we are going to initialize the and send the data through the REST API. So as you can see, we are just going to use the localhost, and for the web, we are going to use 5001 as a port number, and we are finally calling this update data, which will be defined in the app.py. So as you can see, the request data has 2 key value pairs. The first is 2 keys, for example, label and data. This is going to get the top tags which is converted into string, and all the byte arrays are replaced, and this data label is appended with this value which is the tag count. So basically this label is for the top hashtag which is in the form of string, whereas this data will refers to the number of times the tag has been repeated. And now we are going to pass the URL and the data to the request, and finally that is returned as a response. So in the process underscore RDD, so before explaining this process underscore RDD, I'll explain this one. This uses the flap map and the lambda function to split each and every tokens into words, every tweet into words. As you can see, it is split using the null character to get each and every word. And finally we have to filter the words into only one hashtag each time. So after it is mapped, then we need to count how many times a particular hashtag has been repeated. So that's where we are going to call this aggregate tags count. So here we are going to count how many times a particular hashtag has repeated, and finally add that to the already existing count, last count. And we need to process the data. So for each and every resilient data distributed data sets, it is needed to process the data. That's why we call this process RDD. So process each and every resilient distributed data sets. So as you can see, so this has exception handling as well. We are going to try whether we can get the SQL instance which we use to get Spark SQL singleton context from the current context. Basically, it retrieves RDD. It calls this get SQL context instance function. And finally, we need to map the RDD using a map function, and it converts the RDD into row of RDD. So it actually uses the encoding UTF-8 and count to the hashtag WF1. And now we need to create a data frame from the row of resilient distributed data sets. As you can see, this function create data frame used to create a. So for this we need to use SQL underscore context and hash, which is assigned to hashtags underscore df. Now is the time to register the data frame as tables. As you can see, we need to use register temp table. So and we give a name hashtags. And finally, using the SQL functions, we need to select. So this is basically an SQL query. As you can see, we are going to get only the top 10 hashtags. So that's why we are limiting it into 10. And also it should be in descending order. So as you can see, the highest number of times a particular hashtag is repeated can be retrieved by this descending. And finally, we are going to aggregate using the hashtag count, and basically we are going to retrieve hashtag and the hashtag count from the hashtag table, and we are going to aggregate by using the order by function, and how many times a particular aggregate by using the hashtag count and also descending, and we are going to limit up to 10. So finally we are going to show what we have retrieved, and we are going to send the real time hashtag counts to the dashboard. If there is an error in this process or exceptions, we are going to get using this except. We are going to catch the exception using this except keyword, and yeah, that's it. So this is about spark underscore app.py. See app.py. So as you can see, this is a main web application dashboard in which we are going to create the main function. And as you can see, we are going to use Flask, and import Flask, JSONify request, and render template is essential. So I will show you why this is used. So as you can see, this is a main function, and app is going to run on localhost with the port number 5001. This port number should be same as the one that we have specified in spark underscore app.py. So this port number is different from the TCP port number. So TCP is going to retrieve the tweets, whereas this port number is used to display the web dashboard. So now, as you can see this chart, so basically this app root is used to specify the URL. So as you can see, we have three functions app.root, and this attribute is used to specify the URL in the web dashboard. So first thing is chart. We have a chart function in which we have two global variables. The first thing is label, and second thing is values. First it is set to empty, and using this render template, as you can see, we have imported render template. This is the first home page, which is going to call the chart.html file, and we are going to pass this two global variables once after this after setting from the spark underscore app.py. So this will be set using values and the labels equal to labels. And next thing is we are going to refresh the data. So every time we get new set of hashtag and new set of top trending hashtag, we are going to refresh it. So that's why we use this function. We are also use the two variables labels comma values. So as you can see, all the labels are converted into string and printed, and values are converted into string and printed, and we are going to use JSON. So we need a JSON function to convert all the strings to JSON. So that's why we use JSONify, where all the labels are converted into yes label JSON and the values are converted into yes data. And we need another function called update data, which is a post method basically. So this also has two variables, global variables, labels and values, and there is no error. This will be proceeding as normal. As you can see, literally evil. So this is going to throw an exception if the incoming data that is label and data is not of Python data type. It is going to throw an error. So let's basically check whether we are retrieving a valid data. and we are going to print the labels and the values just for our information. So if there is no problem and it is of proper data type, we can able to return success with the code 201. So now we are going to see the web part, that is the HTML that I have specified. This is for creating the real-time dashboard. So as you know that we should have a HTML hashtag and end tag, start tag and end tag. We should have a title, and also there should be a body for HTML, and this is going to display it in h2 tag, that is top trending Twitter hashtag, and there is a division. So as you see, this canvas ID should be equal to this element ID, and you need three scripts. One is for jQuery, and other is for shorts, and other for utilities. All the utilities.js. So these are mandatory scripts that we need, and these scripts can either be embedded here, or you can create a separate JavaScript file and put it there, and finally import it into here. You can, if you want to insert a new script, it should be like, you need to specify, even if it is a local JS or script.js, and finally you need to give. So this is how you, if you want to import the local script JavaScript into the HTML. So since I'm embedding the whole script in the HTML itself, I'm not going to include that JS. So as you can see, I'm setting a variable ctx, so I'm going to get the canvas ID that I have specified here, which is chart. After this, I'm going to make a horizontal bar, and for each labels, this is set, and we are going to set the item, and we are going to specify the data sets as well. So here we are mentioning, so these are the hashtag of mention, so how many times the hashtag this will be repeated. So this will be displayed on the top, and also we have given some background colors and also border color, and there is a border width, and if you want, you can give y-axis, and the y-axis is of text, and it should begin at 0. We have given true, so obviously the number of count should start from 0. So if a hashtag is repeated like 3 times, so it will be displayed at the point 3. So basically the graph starts from 0. And also we have two global variables that initially it is set to empty array. So as you can see, there is an interval for each and every time we get new real-time data. It is going to get set an interval of 2000 milliseconds, and we are going to call this function get JSON, and you remember that we have a refresh data. This method is already defined in our script app main script, which is app.py. So we are going to call that method, and whatever JSON this refresh data will be returning, it will be get using get JSON method. And finally, after getting it, we are just going to get only the labels and the data. So here, after getting the data, we are going to get the S label and S data. This name should be similar to that we have specified in the refresh data in the main app, which is app.py. So after getting this source labels and source data, which is set to the my chart. So this my chart is a variable here that we have defined. So after setting the data, it will be updated. So we are going to call this update function, and then updated every time. So this is set. So every time the real data gets updated, the dashboard will also be updated. So this is how you write the HTML file and with the embedded script. So let's see how to execute this application. First, we need to execute Twitter underscore app.py. So for this, as you know, mine is located in downloads in Twitter. You can see the Twitter underscore app.py is located in Twitter HTTP client. So it should be executed in order. First, you need to execute the Twitter underscore app.py, which is going to establish a connection with Twitter and retry tweets, and then we should execute spark underscore app.py for processing the real-time tweets from Twitter. So and after this we need to execute the main function app.py. So let's first execute Twitter underscore app.py. So mine is going to use Python 3. So that's why to enable Python 3 I need to source my bash rc file. And after this I'm going to execute the Twitter underscore app.py. As you can see, this is waiting for a TCP connection. So once I set the Spark, so once I run the Spark underscore app.py, this is going to get connected. So let's see. So now I need to run the Spark underscore app.py, so which is in the same folder as Twitter underscore app.py. So now I need to source my bash rc for my Python 3. I'm going to use Python 3 and then execute this spark underscore app.py. So it's going to get process the tweets one by one and then map it. So as you can see, Twitter underscore app.py is retrieving tweets from Twitter, whereas this spark underscore app.py is processing my tweets with the hashtag and the how many times that particular hashtag has repeated. Now I need to run my app.py to connect to the dashboard and display the hashtag and its count. So execute app.py. So it is in Twitter streaming and it's inside hashtags dashboard. And here go I have app.py, so I need to execute this function for this as well. I need to source my bash script bash rc. And finally, using my Python 3, I'm going to execute app.py. So as you can see, this is our dashboard localhost IP address and 5001 is a port number. This is where I'm going to execute. So after this, this is actually running on this port. You can actually copy paste into a browser or not. I'm going to paste the localhost and 5001 is a port number. So as you can see, this is a top trending Twitter hashtag and this is the hash of mentions. So as you can see, the first is midweek holy service and Christmas videos. These are the top trending tweets. COVID-19 and how many times midweek holy service? It has 9 times. It is the number of times it's repeated is 10. And Christmas is repeated for 5 times. Now it is getting Southern State Parkway is another mentions that's top trending, and I-95. Yeah, COVID-19 is top trending, and so every time it refreshes with the interval that we have specified, and it gets the hashtags labor, Christmas. So these are the top trending hashtag, as you can see. So COVID-19 is another 3 mentions, 3 times it has been mentioned, and this is how you can create a real-time dashboard using Apache Spark and Flask in Python. I hope in this video you have learned about how to create a simple web application using Python and also process the real-time data using Apache Spark, and finally visualizing the top 10 trending Twitter hashtag using Flask. If you have liked our video, please give a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, please write it in the comment section, and stay tuned for our future videos by subscribing to our channel. Thank you.